Good morning. I believe we are live in beautiful downtown Crestline in the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California's Inland Empire. And the tea kettle is calling me, but I promise I'll be right back. Dum-de-dum, dum-de-dum-de-dum. Dum-de-dum, dum-de-dum-de-dum. Okay. Tora, such a pretty kitty. I don't take cats. No. It's Tuesday. You have to stay in, Tora. All right. Coffee. Coffee. Hello, Cardinal Sin. I'm on the laptop today because last night I piled a bunch of crap on my desk where the desktop computer is, and I'm too lazy to clean it up. It's morning, you know. No, Cardinal Sin, the Dunhills did not arrive yet. I don't know what's with the post office. But I do love Dunhills. I never know what color pack to get. I don't know what they mean. There's red, black, and green. I have no clue. But, if that's old. I will get to the post office as soon as possible. Hi, HB. Welcome in. Okay. I'm typing. It's hard for me to type. HB, let's see. Oh, that's Henning. Yeah. Now, if only I could type without so many typos. Anyway, I'm thinking of signing up for this website called Buy Me a Coffee, but I need feedback from my listeners, and I hope maybe some of you have experience with it. It's another way to donate. Since I cannot monetize my site, it's been years, but back when I ran Google ads on my blog, Google canceled me permanently, won't tell me what I did wrong, but they kept my hard-earned $20. So, and since Google owns YouTube, I can't monetize YouTube. I'm permanently banned, and I don't even know why. Cardinal Sin says it's a good idea. You should become a coffee affiliate, and they sort of sponsor your channel. Oh, that's awesome. So I don't think I'll ever reach 1,000 viewers anyway. I build things slowly and naturally. I look for quality over quantity. And I have one of the best chat rooms on the net, and I share listeners with Cardinal Sin on his YouTube channel, which is an awesome channel. Come here, Tora. Time to say hi to your adoring fans. Look at you. She's all worn out. There's a gigantic orange striped tomcat hanging around. I'm pretty sure he's neutered, but he seems homeless. He's very hungry and very friendly. Get this thing off. It isn't that cold in here. It's just that I haven't combed my hair. My hair is as fine as a spider's web. It tends to go bluey all the time. Yeah, HB, you gotta look at Cardinal Sin's channel. He did a whole series on like analysis and discussion of The Prisoner, the Patrick McGowan show that followed Secret Agent and Danger Man. I'm not all that familiar with Danger Man, but I just love The Prisoner. And of course, I watched Secret Agent a lot. I hope my internet connection isn't flopping around. It seems okay this morning. I'm not. YouTube says I have no listeners, so if you're still here, please type something. This is weird. Are they the same show, Danger Man and Secret Agent? I have managed to find a little bit of Danger Man on YouTube, but of course it's badly cut. Oh, they are the same show. Ah, I thought they were different shows. Okay, somebody must have told me that. Anyway, the episodes of Danger Man are severely cut, so they're, the plot just doesn't quite make sense because they cut things out. All right, Tora, she's trying to claw open a bag of treats. Here you go. Where's Sweetie Pie? Where's my good girl? Where's Tora? If you want your treats, you have to show me where your face is. Cats. There, here you go. Anyway, this big giant orange cat. I mean, he is huge. He walks right into the house, eats the food, and if I sit down on my recliner chair, he's all over me, hops up on my lap, rubs against me, purrs. And I'm like, hey, buddy, you don't even live here. And I'm like, I can't find where he lives. He appears to be abandoned. Region-free DVD player. Well, let's what do you call it? Let's hold off on a whole series of DVDs. I'm still working on the ones I've got. And someone gave me, it was Walter Bosley, who also has a YouTube channel. And he's been reading from awesome books about various, I'm trying to type Walter Bosley channel. Books about the weird, the strange, the unusual, things that are not in your college textbook. Now, I don't know whether my DVD player is region free. It's a standalone DVD player. Yeah, Walter Bosley reads stuff, but it's all the same channel, and he usually goes live on Sunday afternoons around 3 p.m. That used to be my time slot, but I gave it up. I got too many interruptions. Anyway, Walter gave me some Ray Harryhausen video cassettes, VCR, and I have a working VCR. So they're really cool. You know, the animation, the stop motion. Think Gumby on steroids. Gumby is like a kindergarten compared to a Harryhausen. He shows Ulysses. I'm not sure what the title was. Might be the Odyssey. I don't know. Just all kinds of amazing dinosaurs and Cyclops and all kinds of different films. Puts Gumby to shame. Clash of the Titans. Yeah. What's the one with the gigantic bird, the rock? Is that Sinbad? Yeah, he did a movie about Sinbad. He was amazing. Did most of the work himself by hand. Oh, yeah. Anyway, Walter gave me 3 cassettes of Ray Harryhausen films. Let me pull it down. Jason and the Argonauts, the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, and one I don't think I've seen, Mysterious Island. Sorry about the glare. Let me see. If I turn off that lamp, it might help. Not much. I could climb over there and pull the curtain over that source of glare. Mysterious Island. And it's got looks like the guy's riding on a giant ostrich. Oh no, I see. It's a hot air balloon with people trying to escape from a guy with a spear by hopping onto the hot air balloon's basket. I don't think I've seen this one. Cool. Boxed set with the box. Walter claims that he can't play videotapes anymore. No working VCR. Well, you see, I'm like not exactly a Luddite, but for example, my radio is a radio with dials and knobs and like that. It is solid state, but it is not digital. So I can fine tune a radio station by turning the knob and get a better signal. Let's see. Let's see if I can get. Well, the cat's pulled down the curtains on one of the windows. That's part of the problem. Let's see. Give me my foot level thing. The cord to my heating pad grabs me. Yeah, they pulled down the curtains. Bad cat. Well, this one I can do pretty easily, I think. No, it doesn't want to behave. Here. And that one, no, I'm not a mountain goat today. The other one, no, this reflects, so I'll move it. So at least it won't be reflecting. Okay. It might be a slight bit better. Oh, now it's just reflecting from a different place. It's just a bag of bags. You know how the grocery stores want you to reuse your bags? Ah, whew, getting warm in here. Shut this down. Okay. And I got my coffee and my chat room. Hi, Jan. In the chat room. Getting really good chat room now. Hope you guys have your coffee. Next week, I promise I'll get back on the desktop. I've been sorting and organizing, and I have a bad attitude because these are the things I sorted and organized 2 years ago, and someone thought it would be helpful to unpack everything that I had packed up so they could pack up the things I leave out because I use them. I organize things by how soon I plan to use them, if at all. So things I rarely use in the shed. How often I use them and how soon I want to use them. And so one box will have like some glassware and some books and some clothing all in the same box. Didn't make sense to some helpful people, but it was going to be donated to the thrift shop. And all the things I had in my desk drawer, because I used them all the time, were dumped out, scattered among various boxes. I think some must have gone in the trash because I can't find them, unless they put more of my boxes in the shed. I haven't looked there yet. I'm scared to. But all the things that I used, and my desk drawer was then filled up with crap that they unpacked from my boxes that I packed up because I don't use it. Or if I do use it, I use it rarely. On top of that, they lost some of the screws that were holding the desk together. They turned it upside down to tighten the legs, only they lost some of the screws that hold the legs onto the desk. And eventually, that desk ended up in the trash because it really was on its last legs anyway. Yes, dear. Here. So I got a yard sale desk that suits me better. It has the pull-out, slide-out drawer for the keyboard to my desktop. It's cool. Anyway, I got my coffee. So I'll look more closely at the Buy Me a Coffee website. Although I really like the PayPal Me button. You don't have to have PayPal to use it. I'm going to have to start putting that in my descriptions of my videos. I did sign up for Patreon, but I haven't done anything with it because I cannot commit to being there regularly for people who send money regularly. So that just isn't going to work for me. And the other thing is about coffee. Well, oh yeah, recently you guys in the chat said it might be a good idea if I put a picture of myself on a coffee mug. You might buy them. I'm trying to find a website that doesn't cost, $10 or $15 for one coffee mug. But I can't use a picture of my husband because he's a public figure and I don't have permission to use my own photo of my own husband on a coffee mug. Yeah, well, exclusive Patreon member content. Yeah, but it really is time consuming and brain consuming. And at the moment, I don't have exclusive content. I did offer, personal emails answering their questions. Unfortunately, we don't have a wedding photo. Yeah, I could have used that, eh? No, we went to was it JC Penney or Mervyn's? I think it was JC Penney at the time. It became a Mervyn's and got our photos taken separately, not together. I might go back to Patreon when things settle down a bit here. Yeah, PayPal works for me. I know some people have problems with it. eBay has cut ties with PayPal, so I probably won't be listing things on eBay. I might list one or two things just to get my feet wet under their new terms of service. But nothing special, just knick-knacky things that have nothing to do with Philip K. Dick or even, I don't know, maybe one of my books signed by the author. But anyway, there's other options. I kind of like just staying under the radar. I was doing okay. I actually paused donations on my GoFundMe because I can pay my bills now. But then my washing machine broke down. I have been to the laundromat, but that isn't a good option. Their machines don't work very well. And one of the washers didn't spin, so all my clothes were soaking wet. I wrung them out as well as I could and ran them in the dryer for an hour. And they came out damp, so I had to hang them on my clothesline. And it costs anywhere from $7 to $12 just for the washer, the front loaders. If you use the top loaders that they have, it comes out to the same amount of money and your clothes aren't as clean. And they were acceptable, but I would have expected them to be cleaner for what I paid. Coffee cup. Yeah, well, I have to find a good picture of myself or get one taken. I will look into there's several websites that will put your photo on products T-shirts, coffee mugs, kitchen towels, all sorts of things. But anyway, I'll come up with something. I have a photo of the two of us. Just one that's real. Well, I have two, but one that's really good. If I can get a sharp enough image with enough pixels. I wish YouTube would let me just post a photo in the chat or in the comments section or something. Gilstore.com. Now, Gil, is that your own website or is it with a particular company? I don't know what my channel name is. Haven't paid attention. Bookmarks. I've looked into bookmarks at that website where you can get business cards and stuff. I've forgotten the name of it. They want like $3 each to make you some bookmarks. That's ridiculous. It's your Teespring store. I wish I could do like Jimmy Church and get a coffee company to sponsor me. The Darkening of the Light blend. Wouldn't that be cool? Vistaprint, that's the one I looked into. Thank you, Gil. Vistaprint wants outrageous prices for bookmarks. Okay, well, I'll see about getting the coffee mugs started. Oh, Teespring with 2 E's. I'll look into that because I've looked into 2 other sites that put images on coffee cups and T-shirts, and they just aren't working for me. I wish I had a nice graphics program. The one I had back in the dark ages where you actually bought it on a CD and installed it on your computer, it won't work in the current Windows version. It needs DOS. Hi, Howard. You missed a bunch of stuff. I forgot what. Oh, Ray Harryhausen and coffee mugs and all kinds of stuff. Oh, wow. It's such a beautiful morning. I'd like to go out, but I'll be running into the big orange cat again, who does not live here, but thinks he has a right to just move in. You know, hey, you need a cat. Here I am. He walks right in and eats the food and sleeps on my recliner chair. And Tora hates him. Sweetie hates him too. And I've learned that Sweetie doesn't, well, I call all cats and dogs Sweetie, so she doesn't recognize that as her name. She thinks her name is Good Girl. So I guess it is. A sci-fi bookstore. Well, I have a sort of connection with Zach Wood. He mostly sells on his eBay store. He has all kinds of not just science fiction, but a lot of literature, manuscripts. There she is. There's my good girl. I got your treats, you know. There she comes. Whoa, here she comes. Look out, boy, she'll eat you up. Kitties. She's a man-eater. Hi, Jason. Hi, Witta. Hi, Jason and Witta. Okay, the kitties got their treats. Yep, Sweetie's name is actually Good Girl, isn't it? Yep. Silly cat. Well, that's what I say when I'm handing out treats, so she comes running. I'm looking forward to the Dunhills. I'll check the post office. I don't think I can today or tomorrow. I have checked it a few times. But apparently the mail is really slow lately. Even if it's at the post office, it might not get popped into my box. Jason's off work. Yay. Yeah, Walter wants me to go to Lulu. I just not. I've had owned small businesses in the past. It's a headache. Okay, with Amazon, I don't need a business license. I don't need to do quarterly tax returns. You have to file and pay sales taxes. I don't have to keep track of income. Well, they keep track of income. I keep track of my expenses. Well, they do keep track of what I spend on promotional copies of my books. But there's a whole category of paperwork and government forms that goes along with being your own publisher. Plus, it's a bigger weight on my shoulders, more responsibility. Okay. Typing hi Jason in case I didn't already. Oh, I did. Hi Jason and Witta. Okay. All right. Lord, I've been waking up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. Today, I think I slept till 5:30. I just can't get back on schedule. I don't like to get up that early. It's dark out. I want to see sunshine when I wake up. Oh, wow. Oh, well. Anyway, I consulted with the urologist about my kidneys, and he ordered some tests. The insurance has not approved everything, and I can't get up to the local hospital for the blood and urine, to give them samples because the universe is against me. The major highway washed out in just the right spot that I would have to take a detour, but the detour is already closed for construction. So there is a third detour. I'm like, Well, I'll figure it out somehow. Yeah. Cardinal Sin woke up before midnight. Well, you do your midnight to midnight show. I used to be a night owl, honestly. I'd be up past midnight and then sleep till 9 or 10 in the morning. But once something puts you off schedule, it's hard to get back. I used to dread those when I was in college, those 8 o'clock classes. I tried to avoid them, but here and there I had to take one. I was in class half asleep. And on one particular occasion, I was so tired that I had a little car accident on the way. I had to report it because the fender of my little Fiat scraped a road sign. And even though the sign didn't appear to be damaged, I had to make a police report because it was city property. Well, hi, VCan. The gang, hail, the gang's all here. Well, you're not quite all here, but most of you are here. This is the most wonderful chat room. 1:45 in the morning for Jan. Oh, horrors. Well, once in a while on a whim, I'll go on at some odd time during the day, keeping in mind that I do have international listeners or viewers, whatever you are. But 8 a.m. on a Tuesday, Pacific time, seems to work for me. Someone hates me, yeah. Must be Palmer Eldritch. But I figure it wasn't meant to be. I'll wait till they repair the road. I'm not sure how they're going to repair the particular road. It's called the Narrows. And, at least a decade ago, there were more than that. Anyway, there were plans to widen it. So they did a survey and all this stuff and discovered that they could not widen that particular stretch of Highway 18 because it's sitting next to an earthquake fault. In other words, if they widened it, the new lanes would be sitting on the earthquake fault or right, close enough to just come down in an earthquake. We're on a small branch of the San Andreas. The major fault runs under the 15 freeway that goes from San Bernardino to Las Vegas. It goes mostly north and then it kind of swings east. Goes way past Las Vegas. I think it goes all the way into Utah to Salt Lake City. Yeah, all of California. Even in the 60s, there was this popular song about California falling into the ocean from the earthquake, and you'd tie up your boat in Idaho. Of course, Oregon and Washington State would also have to go for that to happen. But seriously, that won't happen. Yeah, the coast will crumble, but it always does. I don't understand these incredibly rich people who will build a house on a cliff over the ocean at Malibu. Every couple of years, they have to rebuild. There's floods and mudslides and even little earthquakes like a 3. You see, I'm a native California. I remember the Alaska quake, and yes, we felt it down here in Los Angeles County. And we felt aftershocks for months. But anyway, my attitude is, oh, let me know when it's a 6. Don't bother me with anything smaller. Oh yeah, Superman 2. The San Andreas Fault opened up. Well, it opens up all the time, but not that dramatically. It just kind of creeps the actual rip in the landscape creeps a little bit, maybe a centimeter every couple of years. Just like the rising oceans from global warming, not warning, okay. The oceans might rise about 3 inches in the next 20 years. Am I supposed to panic? Well, I suppose if I buy a $5 million home on the cliff in Malibu, I might be a little upset. And then there are those beach houses on the beach on, I knew the word a minute ago. Well, these pylons are sunk deep into the ground, stilts, and the houses are on stilts. So there's 2 or 3 feet wide open for ocean waves to go underneath the house. They're really cottages. Yeah, Lex Luthor was going to blow up nuclear bombs in the San Andreas Fault so he could make a fortune on his beachfront property in Arizona, Gil says. Yep. I've seen that movie twice, and I've seen clips of it all over the place. Is that what happened in D.C.? I heard there was a man on fire at the Capitol. So he's a climate activist? Back in the 60s, in Vietnam, and mostly Vietnam, but other places, these priests of, I guess, Buddhist priests would set themselves on fire in protest. It was so horrible, and they showed it on television. Thank God our TV was a black and white set. Mom wouldn't allow Dad to spend the money for a color TV. She wouldn't even let me go next door to watch Star Trek on the neighbor's color TV. Oh, do I have audio dropouts? I'm sorry. Let me see if... I'm checking my audio settings. Oh, they're all at the max. No clue. I'm just amazed that my internet is holding up today because I'm out of Wi-Fi. I'm using my data connection. You know, speeds up to 400K. Oh, thank you guys. Oh, come on. Put the cursor back in the box so I don't... Hey. I hate the mouse pad. When I'm trying to type, my hands touch the mouse pad and the cursor pops out of the box. Okay. I was going to have a yard sale, but I think it will wait for instead of Memorial Day at the end of May, it'll wait till Labor Day in September, beginning of September. Lots of reasons, not the least of which is a weird neighbor. A few days ago, I was already up at 6 a.m., so I'm kind of glad I was that day. I heard this helicopter circling overhead, and then a bunch of cop cars showed up, and they got on their loudspeakers. Residents of, and they gave the address, but I didn't hear it for sure the first time. Come out with your hands up. That's the first time I've ever heard that in real life. Come out with your hands up. It wasn't my house. The second and third times they said it, I realized it was not my house. But the way street addresses are so messed up around here, I did peek outside just to make sure it wasn't my house, and the vehicle, the armored vehicle, was in front of the house next door. And after things were a little quieter, mainly because no one was home, except the dog, and he's friendly, I went out and asked, and of course they could not give me details, but they had a search warrant for some kind of criminal activity. And they wanted to know if I had seen this particular guy. And yeah, he's the guy renting the house. But since then, he hasn't been around. Here and there, someone else comes around. I hope they took the dog and didn't leave that poor dog just sitting in the house all alone with no company and no food. We'll see. But that was exciting. I'm sorry. Sorry, Gil. Maybe if I speak more slowly, I will try a different internet connection. Let's see if it'll let's see. You turkey, you turned it off, didn't you? Turn back on. Come on. These devices are smart Alex. They aren't smart, they're smart Alex. Let me see if this will work. Is that any better, Gil? I've got a different... I'm connecting off the tablet instead of the jetpack. Jetpack seems to have a bad connection. If I do this enough, it seems to say, oh, there is a signal. No, it just doesn't want to catch a signal. It's better? Okay, we'll go with this for now. Okay, so I got to hear real cops in real life say, come out with your hands up. But it wasn't for me, thank God. My tablet seems to do well sometimes and just do terrible other times. Let me see. Participants. It isn't showing Wita or Jan. Okay. Anyway, I think they might have left the orange cat behind because they're hiding from the cops. Oh, yeah, well, YouTube lies all the time. I look for a list of chat participants, and it doesn't show me everyone. I look for how many are listening, and it says 0 when I know darn well that 2 or 3 people at least are here in the chat. Oh, well. Oh, I heard something good on YouTube today. Oh, of course, it was Fox News, Tucker Carlson. But he said, the media are. I am so sick and tired of people saying the media is. Media is plural. What are media? Not what is, what are media? Television, radio, newspapers, magazines, internet. Media. The singular is medium. Radio is a medium, and one of the many media. And he said it right. I don't mind when it's ordinary people talking. I do mind that highly paid media people who sit there reading a teleprompter get things so wrong. It really bothers me. All they have to do is sit there and look nice and read. They have to know how to read. Back in the day, it was a paper script on the desk that the reporter would read. And that's, now it's a teleprompter. But it's the same thing. You're just reading the news. Well, granted, some of them write their own scripts and just use them as reminders, because if you have to memorize an hour of commentary every day, it gets old. So they write it down. Let's see, how long have I been on? Nearly an hour. It's getting cloudy. The sunshine is diminishing, but I still have glare all over my laptop. Humph. If I move here, I can block some of the glare. I'm ready for a haircut. This is ridiculous. I usually have it like just touching my shoulders. And here it is. Is this a COVID hairdo? Oh, lovely neighbors. Anyway, at the last year's Labor Day yard sale for the Lions Club, which they held at my house, we had trouble with scavengers. People coming around during the night and just taking things. And that Lions yard sale is a fundraiser for local charity. And the prices are so ridiculously low that anybody can afford them. For example, with clothing, we'll give you a regular grocery sized bag and you can fill it for $1. And even so, people will wait till the middle of the night to steal clothing. Not good. So they've moved the Lions yard sale to a different location this year. And I think I'll just not have a yard sale just yet because I don't want people just taking things. You know, I might want to get 10 cents or a quarter. Yeah, quarters for the laundromat. And I'm definitely going to get my washer repaired. I think I can get it fixed for $100 or close to it. It spins just fine. It fills and empties just fine. But when it's time to agitate, it just sits there making noise. So that apparently is something called agitation dogs. They're a sort of grommet that grabs the it grabs the connection that makes it agitate. When it's time to agitate, the bottom thingy lifts up and engages with the agitation thingy. It isn't happening. And I could do it myself if I had the right tools, which I don't, and if I weren't so messed up from my broken back. It might not seem like much to turn a ratchet wrench, but for me it's painful. Don't know what's, it's like, yeah, the universe hates me. And the laundromat is too expensive and doesn't really do a good job. The washers don't really get your clothes as clean as you want, and the dryers don't get your clothes as dry as you want. And by the time you put all those quarters in, it's much more expensive than doing it at home. So I got to get the washer fixed. I think when my next Social Security comes in, beginning of May, I can do that. I hope. All right, what's going on in this world? I'm going to put my mug on a coffee mug. I'll have to find a good picture for that. And I might follow Gil's suggestion and put my book cover on a t-shirt. I have to find a notepad before I forget to check out Teespring. I will forget the name of it. Here we go. T-E-E spring. Coffee mugs. I'll forget what it means if I don't note that. Okay. This is such a cool notepad. The pen goes on the side in a little elastic band. All right. There, here we go. You know, I was a Girl Scout, so they say once a scout, always a scout, so I am a Girl Scout. I'm prepared. I have all kinds of stuff in my purse. I've tried to find someone to help me with the washer, but the only guy who says he knows how to do it is out of town for several weeks. I have watched the YouTube about how to fix the washer, and by the time I bought the parts and the tools, it would cost me $100 easily, and I'd have to do it myself. So I'm going to see about getting a professional to do it. Of course, I would have some cool tools. I did start taking things apart, but I'm stopped at the part where you need special tools. I mean, they aren't terribly exotic, but I don't have them. And it's just to take out one bolt. But when you get there, in order to put the agitation dogs on the center post in the washing machine, that is very fiddly. Very fiddly. And I still remember the time I thought I'd save some money by replacing the points in the distributor. Back in the day when you could fix your own car, well, I dropped a screw. The minute that happens, your distributor is dead. It won't ever work again. So I had to pay a mechanic to replace the distributor instead of just the points. The screw fell inside the distributor. You can't get it out. And of course, it won't work with a screw inside it. I used to change my own spark plugs and points. I generally went to an oil change place because I didn't want to dump used oil on the ground, and it was hard to find a place to recycle it. So anyway, I'd like drain the radiator and replace the fluid. I never wanted my radiator flushed because I drove old clunkers that, you know, flushing the radiator involves pressurized water, and it could very easily make holes in the radiator and cause you more grief. But I would empty it and replace the fluid. And save the used fluid as a weed killer. I did all kinds of work. I even changed a flat tire more than once. That was back when Gasoline went up to 75 cents a gallon, and I didn't think I could afford it. The rent on a 2-bedroom apartment was about $250 a month. We rented a house for $350, a 3-bedroom house. Might have been $365. That sounds about right. We almost bought a house for $30,000 in a really nice neighborhood near Cal State Fullerton, the college town. Wow. Almost bought it. Oh well, didn't work out. If we'd bought that house in 76 or 7, I guess 76, and held on it just till 1980, we could have sold it for twice what we bought it for. Oh well. I ended up buying a house for my son in 86 or something like that. His trust fund needed a good investment because it wasn't getting that much interest in the bank. I don't remember what it cost, but the interest rates were so high that for a 2-bedroom, but with a dining room and a living room, it was the monthly payment was more than $1,000 a month. And nowadays, people would be delighted to have a house payment that low. You pay $500,000 for a condo in Lake Arrowhead. People here and there will list their properties in these mountains, and they'll list it for like $300,000, but there will be bids for much more than the asking price. People want these properties in the mountain. Either they want to get away from the city or they're rich enough to have a vacation home. I don't know. My little house, I guess I got it at the right time. It's only 1 bedroom and it's very tiny and therefore hard to refinance. It's so small. Barely over 400 square feet, a 20 by 20 box. It does have a bedroom and bathroom, but they're tiny. My house payment is less than $1,000 a month, and I can't afford to move. I can't afford to sell it because where would I go? I couldn't rent a room for less than $1,000 a month. In fact, the ones I've been seeing advertised lately, $1,200 for kitchen privileges. Oh, gentrification, yeah. And our county government is trying to turn these rural mountain communities into cities with sidewalks and streetlights and all kinds of rules and codes and restrictions. And they want more, not just more business up here, but They want to replace the mom and pop shops with corporate business. And they want industry. We are not the place for a factory. I'm sorry. We're in the forest. Now, a lumber factory might be nice, but they won't let us cut down the trees, so. And by the way, these trees were planted by loggers 100 years ago with every intention of coming back to log the forest, to cut down the trees again and plant more new ones. And the forest would be a lot healthier if they did, but they're not allowed to. The one thing the county tried to approve, but the court is stopping them, is a gigantic complex with a athletic field and gymnasium and a huge hotel, and it would require not only removing hundreds of trees but also flattening a hillside. And that area happens to be habitat and migration passage for a number of wildlife species, some of which are endangered. Others would become endangered, and it would also stop the flow of a natural creek where the critters get their water, and eventually, as it goes downhill, people get the water too. That they approved, our county supervisors, but so far the court has been stopping them because their environmental impact statement is insufficient. And although in general I'm against these stupid environmental regulations, I'm kind of glad of this one. Mint. I have coffee breath. Gotta have mint. Well, anyway, their project is so huge and drastic. Oh no, the orange cat is outside my door meowing. I think someone abandoned him. Yeah, freaking tree huggers. California has some beautiful redwood forests. But since even the Forest Service is not allowed to take out dead and dying trees, the forests are suffering. What's supposed to happen naturally is a tree dies and falls and sits on the forest floor, providing food for all kinds of critters and plants. But on the rare occasions when they're allowed to take down a tree, they have to take it out because it's infested with bark beetles. And those bark beetles will take down young, healthy trees along with the old ones. They're an invasive species that apparently came on board a ship from, probably Japan, maybe China. Probably Japan. So they don't have natural predators. We encourage woodpeckers as long as they hit the trees and not our houses, because they aren't just poking holes in trees, they're pulling out the beetle larvae that would kill the tree. But finally, because of the frequent power outages from falling trees and tree branches, the Edison Company has been allowed and even ordered to take down trees that endanger the power lines. You see, back east, you'll find forests where the trees are 18 inches apart. And it's okay. But they get rain, lots of rain. We don't. We're semi-desert here. The forest is overcrowded with trees that can't get enough water. I did manage to save some of my trees in the last huge bark beetle infestation by digging a moat around each tree and soaking it with the garden hose. But you can't do that for thousands and thousands of trees all over the mountain, on private property, on public property, in the national forest. You just can't do that. You have to thin out the trees so that they have enough resources to grow and be healthy. Yeah. I mean, I'm all for a clean environment. I'm all for saving endangered species, but California is ridiculous and stupid. We have this thing called the Delta smelt. It's about the size of a goldfish in a fish bowl. Little tiny thing. It's an invasive species, and yet some idiot decided it was endangered, so they had to divert water from the canal. Forgot the name of the canal again. It runs from Northern California down through the farmland in the Central Valley. They diverted water from the canal that feeds the farms that feed the world to save the Delta smelt. So all this water's going out into the ocean. And on top of that, the way it works out, it's actually harming trout and salmon. Native species. So this little Delta smelt can successfully invade our environment and screw it up. I think it's part of a policy that they don't talk about, but it becomes obvious. They want to drive out small farms, family farms, so that the corporations can take over, buy up the land real cheap, and set up factory farming. Yeah, food shortages are part of it. I still can't get my favorite instant coffee at the grocery store. So I've been buying the organic fair trade coffee. The way it works out, it costs twice as much, but I'm not going to buy U-Ban or Folgers. I don't like them. I did get some Don Francisco coffee beans. Yeah, but I'm hearing rumors that there's a shortage of cooking oil. Well, I have plenty of that. Our food bank gave me 3 big bottles of cooking oil. They are not, they're just safflower. One is corn oil. The other two are Basically safflower oil. Not the best quality, but I got plenty of it. And I've been saving the bacon grease. You know, some things you don't want to cook in bacon grease. The flavors don't work. No, sorry, Gil. I eat bacon. Lots of it. Yeah, meat is getting outrageous. I was looking at just a ribeye steak, about 3/4 of a pound. It was almost $20. It's a good thing I'm not a picky eater. Well, in some cases, I won't eat escargot. Kale is not edible. I tried sea urchin once at a very high-end sushi place. Can't get past the texture. But, I'll get the cheap hamburger or, um, sometimes I'll go with all veggies. Uh, but I do enjoy and appreciate really good um, delicacies. Smoked salmon, various cheeses. Wow, yeah, meat is getting outrageous. Oh, and lamb. Well, we aren't getting lamb from New Zealand. It's becoming very scarce. And frankly, the local lamb from the United States, it is not the same. I imagine it must be what they feed them. Oh, and lamb from South America. I haven't tried it, but people who have tell me it tastes like beef and not very good quality beef. So even though Easter, I traditionally in my family we had lamb for Easter because it's the Passover meal, lamb. I didn't even try to get lamb. Yeah, well, the food bank gave me some hot dogs and a tube of cheap hamburger meat, so I'm good for a while. Although hot dogs aren't exactly good for you, at least they're a major brand of all beef, high quality, and I do like the taste. I grew up on ham, bologna, liverwurst. Well, I do have a tube of liverwurst. It's actually Braunschweiger, smoked liverwurst. Good stuff. And I need those particular vitamins and minerals and such that you get in liver. It's actually recommended by my doctor. Anyway, eventually I'll get up to the hospital for the blood and urine samples so they can test me. They want something called a bladder capacity. I have no idea what that involves. But I know that my bladder has really good capacity. It'll hold at least a liter, a quart. A liter's a little more than a quart. Yeah, there have been, oddly enough, just in, the past month or two, there's been a lot of fires at food processing plants. Strange. Some of the plants were completely destroyed by fire. And of course, with the price of gas, we don't have as many trucks delivering food, which is also part of the shortage. I suspect, though, that at least here locally, we will never run out of toilet paper. Apparently, the grocery stores all stocked up for us so that they have it on their shelves. Yeah, well, they couldn't keep us down with, let's see, 2 weeks to slow the spread so the hospitals don't get overwhelmed. After 2 years, people are fed up with that, so they want us to riot, to have food riots. Howard, they've been killing people's backyard chickens, even if they were vaccinated and tested negative for avian flu. They, People are just beginning to be able to get backyard chickens again. And it was awful. They were going to people's homes and killing their backyard chickens, even after being shown proof that these chickens are vaccinated and they tested negative. They killed them anyway. It's been going on for at least 2 years. Yeah. Yeah, well, a good pandemic is awesome, isn't it? Although, discussing this might get YouTube to ding my channel and take down the video. I'm on locals, but I don't do much there because it's slow. They don't have the bandwidth that YouTube does. Let's see. Jason says, yeah, we have some local farms very close by. But the shortages are weird, like Schwann's, they deliver frozen food. They don't seem to be able to get asparagus. And when they do have it, the price is so outrageous, I pass. Oh well, it's time for me to reset a little coffee, but I'll be back. So hang on. I better plug in the device. I promise I'll be back in a flash. Hi, Tora. I gotta go potty. Yeah, I'll get you treats when I come back. dum. Dum de dum de dum. Dum de dum. Dum de dum de dum. There she is. There's my pretty kitty. Ah, oh. Tora, you're a big girl. Yes, you are. Now say hi to your adoring fans. She says, no, I don't want to. Oh, such a sweetie. Okay, I got your treats. Uh, the things a cat will do for a treat. Let's see. Uh, let's see. I'm trying to. Uh, I'm looking at the chat room. Dum de dum, dum de dum de dum. Jason has said a whole bunch, and Witta too. Yeah, I'm in the mountains. I don't know. I usually get a better connection super early in the morning, like 5 o'clock to 7, even at 8. Oh, it's 20 till 10 here. Okay. Widow wants to know if I had to go to an alternative platform. Well, I'm on Locals. I might go on Odyssey, but on Odyssey you have to buy time. Locals wants you to pay money for the privilege of commenting on a video. And yeah, they don't have ads, so it makes sense, but frankly, I'd rather listen to an ad for cancer or osteoporosis than pay $5 a month. That's the minimum. On the other hand, some people do that because they like a channel. The thing is that $5 a month is only for one channel. If you want to listen to somebody else on Locals, you have to pay another $5 a month to comment on that. But you can watch the videos for free, and I can upload videos for free. On Odyssey, which also is ad-free, I would have to pay for the privilege of uploading my content. Do I have a fish tank? Oh, no. No. Cat water fountain that's making that noise, and I think it's probably running low on water. Let me check it. It gets loud when it's low on water. No, it isn't low on water, it's just loud. I appreciate other people's fish tanks. I just don't have the desire or means to have a fish tank myself. Okay. Yeah, well, you have to start out with actual money on Odyssey. You can't always count on earning coins by watching videos and upvotes. Yeah. I like the cat water fountain because I don't have to change the water as often as I do with a bowl. Oh, Witta will give me 10 coins. I'm not sure whether I actually joined Odyssey, but I haven't done anything on the site. I will definitely check it out when I'm off the air. Um, Humph. I'm scanning my bookshelves and DVD shelf. Um, is this what I think it is? Ah, yeah, I was interviewed for The Worlds of Philip K. Dick, so they sent me a DVD. It's one of the better documentaries. It's 56 minutes, so almost an hour. The English version is 2015. They included a little note on a card, on cardstock. Anyway, The Worlds of Philip K. Dick is one of the better documentaries. What's it say on the back? Philip K. Dick wrote novels which have been adapted into some of the most revered science fiction films of our time. Total Recall, Blade Runner, and Minority Report. His work is compared regularly to Kafka, Orwell, and Asimov. Well, actually, Kafka was one of Phil's inspirations. But more than 30 years after his death, Philip K. Dick is now looking like the most prescient anticipator of the digital age. An agoraphobic who rarely left his suburban California home, Dick would travel through countless worlds in his mind, often with the help of amphetamines. Yeah, this must be the one where the psychologist claimed that Phil did drugs all the time. How would he know? Sit and talk with someone once a week or once a month and you know everything? In 45 novels and 120 short stories, he described many of the themes haunting our lives today, including virtual worlds, totalitarian societies, and enslaving technologies. Together with Philip K. Dick, who reminisces about his life in a rare interview, we explore his inner psyche with the aid of his psychotherapist, his widow, and his biographer. One interviewee noting that Dick spent much of his life writing about the, quote, creeping sensation that all certainties stand upon sand, end quote. The photos are so tiny. That looks like Rutger Hauer. It's too small to show you, probably. There. I don't know which biographer they interviewed, but probably not the best one. Okay. Anyway, it's a Nova production. Nova. I wonder if that's the same as the science show that Carl Sagan was always on. Uh, it was usually on public TV, PBS. Oh, Witta. Is this documentary on Curiosity Stream? Cool. I'm glad I'm loud and clear, Cardinal Sin. I just hope those Dunhills arrive. They're an English cigarette that's far above and beyond what you can get here in the American brands. You see, they come over and buy the best Virginia tobacco and take it back to Europe. And our American companies buy the crud that's left over and cheap. Go figure. My water's empty. I'll be right back. Dum de dum. Dum de dum de dum. Dum de dum. Dum de dum de dum. Oh, dum de dum de dum. Oh, I sang to you and nobody told me to shut up. Cool. I sang Sweetie Kitty's Good Girls song. Oh, here she comes. uh, Sometimes it feels like that when a cat is approaching. Oh, Lord. Well, I try to reminisce about Phil, but it makes me sad. Maybe next time I'll unpack his little Demitasse cups to show you. I have 3 of them. There were more, but these are 3 of his best. Little half, Demitasse. Demi meaning half. Tassa meaning cup. They're little teacups. One is what we used to call blue willow. I think we still do. But it's bone china, very fragile. I forget what the other 2 are, but one is white with a gilt rim, gold. The other is pink with a picture of a rose, and I don't remember whether it has any gold rim. I'll have to unpack them to show you, maybe next week, because I have to figure out where I put them. But those are one of the things that some asshole unpacked while I was out with my broken hip and put them out on display. I just freaked out when I saw that. They belong bubble wrapped and protected, not sitting out. We had blue willow when I was growing up. Most of our kitchen stuff was what Granny gave us, Mom's mother. And it was good stuff. For example, When she replaced her Frigidaire with a newer refrigerator, she gave us her old one. What we had before that was an ice box. We had an iceman come every week to replace the ice in the ice box. And here we had a Frigidaire with a separate freezer and refrigerator, and oh my, and it was electric and didn't need ice. But we still often called it the ice box. Force of habit. And then Mom had one of those round washing machines that's on legs, and it has I've forgotten the word, at the top for the wringer. You turn the crank and it goes through two things that look like rolling pins to squeeze out the water. And then you empty the washer into the garden. You just turn the valve and it goes down the hose into the garden, so you can fill it with fresh water and rinse your clothes, and then put them through the word for that, the thing that wrings them out. It isn't just wringer, there's a better word. It won't come to me. Well, see you, Cardinal Sin. I'll let you know if I get the Dunhills. Let's see, Dinal. Okay, close enough. Typos. Hi, Oswald. Wow, you're almost 2 hours late. Oh well, I'll stay on for a while. I'm smoking too much, but what the heck. You only live once and you only die once. Unless you're James Bond. Wasn't there a movie called You Only Die Twice? I don't watch the Bond films. But I kind of, you can't avoid knowing about them, and I do love Sean Connery. The Peyote Way Church of God cult. Yeah, most of these peyote cults don't even actually use the peyote. They don't eat it or smoke it. They just hold it and kind of worship the spirit of peyote. I gotta see what happened to Jan. I gotta scroll up. Oh, poor Jan got caught in the rollers on the washer. Well, when Granny gave us her old washing machine that actually plugged in and did all the spinning and everything, oh, that was awesome. I'm trying to remember the brand name. Isn't coming to me, but it was a good one. Oh, too bent to play the piano? Your arm was too bent? I love the piano, but I have to go like this down to reach an octave. So I've learned to kind of bloop, bloop, bloop over some of the chords or change them to something I can reach. But I love the piano. Good for the guitar. Oh, so sorry, Jen. That must have hurt like the dickens. You must have been very young when your bones were still a little soft. Yeah, I have to finish putting the strings on my guitar. It's just a cheap little $10 yard sale guitar that has been poorly repaired. The bridge apparently came off, and someone just took wood screws and screwed on a homemade bridge. So the sound isn't going to be concert quality by any means, but I don't really play guitar, I just know a few chords. So it's okay for me. But I need to get back to practicing the clarinet. It takes a while to build up the strength in your lips to not only blow into it, but actually make a pleasant sound. But I love the clarinet. Benny Goodman is my hero. The saxophone is nice, but the clarinet is awesome. And I have a nice clarinet. It says it's a student instrument, but it's for the advanced student, and many professional musicians also use this clarinet. Okay, have I ever listened to the Crowley occult scholar Tobias Churton? He recently said that PKD is the only science fiction author he has any respect for. That name doesn't sound familiar. Oh, he hasn't even read PKD, only about him. You know, I'm sorry his initials are PKD because when I search for it on Google, I get polycystic kidney disease. PKD. Oh well. And if you search PD, you get police department, so you can't even leave out his middle initial. Hmm. T's all gone. Hmm. Oh, he's been on Miguel Connor's show. Okay. I've been kind of gone back to here and there listening to Robert Phoenix. He has a YouTube channel. He's an astrologer, but he's also, let's see, I'm typing Robert Phoenix. Spelled just like Phoenix, Arizona. YouTube channel. He's really upset about the New World Order and all that crap, and talks about it quite freely. In fact, to some extent, YouTube uh, isn't that bad at censorship. I've heard many YouTubers say things that would get them banned from Facebook or Twitter. Oh, Oswald knows about Robert Phoenix, yes. I haven't enjoyed his Friday shows where he has guests as much as his Sunday shows. And one in particular, see, he doesn't generally challenge his guests. But this one particular show, and it wasn't Robert Phoenix, it was his guests, they kept talking about the Jews. And Robert just kind of diverted them to another topic without saying anything. But it was painful to watch, and I ended up turning it off. He lost his bid for city council? Well, maybe next time. First off, the Rothschilds are not Jews. They're descended from Jacob's brother Esau. They are not Jews, they're Edomites. They claim to be Jews when there's something in it for them. But just look at your history. The Nazis never attacked the Rothschilds. No Rothschild went to a concentration camp. They did arrest one cousin in Austria who was hiding Jews in his home. But even that one didn't go to a death camp. The Rothschilds are not Jews. Sure, they own the Bank of England, or is it London? Well, it's in London. But it's really the bank of the wealthy world government advocates. The ones who think they run everything, and they have their little conferences and their secret Bilderberg meetings, and their... I keep forgetting all the alphabet things. World Economic Forum, WEF, and all that. But no matter what you plan, reality has a habit of kicking you in the face. Or as Bobby Burns said, the poet Robert Burns, the best laid plans of mice and men gang after gley, or as we say in modern English, often go awry. Who is some guy who's not even an American citizen to hand down orders about the American economy and the value of labor, natural resources, etc. And yet they have their conferences and make their plans. Well, and I'm still waiting for Ancestry DNA to analyze my DNA. I got an email late last night. Something went wrong. They need a new DNA sample. So I have to spit in their tube again and wait another 6 weeks and hope nothing goes wrong this time. Anyway, they need a new sample. I suppose maybe they found a space alien thing? Or maybe they just want to make sure that my biological father really was Mom's first cousin. I don't know. Whatever. You see, there's a better than 90% cat hair. There's a better than 90% chance that Dad was not my father. Not surprising. We knew that Mom slept around. But it's on Dad's side that I can claim Cherokee ancestry. And if he's not my dad, I'm not Cherokee, even though I look just like one. There's Reservation Cherokee who look just like me. Yeah, 23andMe I haven't tried. I did get DNA done at MyHeritage, but they have a very small database. Even so, I would have expected to find at least one match to a cousin on the Busby side, and all I'm finding is cousins on mom's side, which is weird. So, and of the two prime suspects in my mind, one was mom's first cousin. Oh well, we'll see what happens on Ancestry. I can't afford to just keep buying DNA tests, but I'll consider 23andMe. We'll see. But I'm really curious now because it's a matter of medical history. You know, as I get older, I have more ailments. Also, um, I don't have to worry so much about ailments on dad's side if he wasn't my biological father. Yeah, I'm sure, in my case at least, if they wanted my DNA, they already had it. So I refuse to worry about that. They probably have most of our DNA one way or another. If you've ever had a blood test. Oh, speaking of blood tests, I know my negative RH. RH negative blood comes from mom's side. Granny was AB negative, and I'm A negative. Mom was RH positive. Humph. Trying to think. Uh, I had a memory pop up, something about RH negative blood, but I just don't remember it. At least not clearly. Space alien, why not? And according to Francie, was it Francie Steiger or yeah, not Sherry, Francie. Um, Rod Steiger's one of his wives. He had two. Um, if your toes are extra long, you might be part alien. My toes are so long that I can pick up a crumpled piece of paper off the floor with my foot. My toes are extra long. I've never measured them, but I know they're longer than most people's toes. Oh dear. It's been over 2 hours. I don't want to leave, but I need a topic. Oh, there's the darn highway. I can't I can't easily go up to give blood and urine samples for the urologist, so I have to um, reschedule my second appointment with the urologist because he'll need the test results. Plus, he wanted a CAT scan of my kidneys, and that has not yet been approved by my insurance. I got itchies on my face. Um, Meanwhile, I'm getting better. My kidney health isn't so bad right now, and I hope I can maintain this. Part of it is this stuff my older and smarter brother got for me. It used to be recommended for kidney stones, and now it isn't, but it's still available for other ailments. It's called food liquid. It's basically a source of phosphorus, and the idea is that it will dissolve your kidney stones. You just put a few drops into your glass of water. Bing, bing, bing. And I do drink a lot of water. My kidneys are working overtime, but not as much as they did a few months ago. Okay, Rh negative are supposedly Royal European bloodlines, but almost no Rh negative Jews. Well, Rh negative is most prevalent in the Basque population and the Berbers of North Africa, like Casablanca, that area, Algiers, I think. Large north central Russian population of Rh negative. Yeah, well, people have moved around so much you can't really pin it down to one area based on modern analysis. Let me top off my water. The food is kind of sour, so I want it diluted. Ah, dum de dum, dum de dum de dum, dum de dum, dum de dum de dum. Okay. Okay, here we go. What I'm getting now is itchies on my skin where my kidney is. Just one kidney, this one. But it beats heck out of the terrible pain I was having. When I broke my back, I couldn't tell whether it hurt because my kidney hurt so bad. I did discover that I should quit drinking tonic water. I thought the quinine was helping with the muscle cramps in my legs and feet that I get sometimes when I lie down and I can't sleep because my muscles are cramping, especially if my feet get cold. Now, they used to say it would help, and now the experts say it doesn't help. But what is concerning to me is that quinine can damage your kidneys. And since I already have a kidney problem, no more tonic water. Spam on my phone. Since I already have kidney problems, I don't need to challenge them with more toxins like quinine or pain pills. Um, Some people thought quinine might help to prevent the symptoms of COVID, but I don't see any evidence for that. Quinine was originally prescribed for malaria. Now they have more refined and less toxic compounds similar to quinine. Hang on just a second. Don't like to blow my nose in public, but it was tickling. Okay. Oh, here it goes again. Hang on. Come on, you evil nose. Ah, dum-de-dum. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Well, it just wants to tickle me. Oh well. Yeah. I think I got it. Oh, I don't know. The royal families are so inbred, it's ridiculous. I almost watched a YouTube video about who are the most inbred royals, but something distracted me. That's what happens when you marry your cousins. Your children come out with genetic defects. They claim now that it is safe to have children with your first cousin, but the royals have been doing that for so many generations that they're probably much more closely related than ordinary cousins. Oh well. Oh, now I got itchies on my head. Oh man. This is far from a professional podcast. Poor lighting, poor image, poor sound. And I keep blowing my nose and combing, or kind of putting my fingers through my hair anyway. Oh, that's generic Vicks Vapor Rub. Its real purpose is to put on the spots where the cat likes to claw my chair. It does keep her away for a couple days, but then it wears off and I have to do it again. Put a little dab of Vicks Vapor Rub on the chair. So far, I don't think it's causing any stains on the cloth. It might do so on vinyl or leather. But, it wears off and I have to dab on some more. And the cat gives me the look like, well. Let's see. And by the way, in the United States, we are aware of wealthy Jews, but really, Jewish people don't have on average, a high income or a lot of wealth. It's more likely to be those of German ancestry who pull the strings financially and politically. And I remember when we were freaking out that these people were buying so much real estate in California, but their purchases were dwarfed by the English people buying in California. And nobody fussed about that. Let's see what's in chat. Yeah, Asians and Indians tend to be wealthier. And on average, black people don't have such a low income. There are many who are dirt poor, but there are also many who are wealthy. It isn't the color of your skin that counts. That's a lie promulgated in order to divide us. I mean, there's what's the population in the U.S. now? Something around 300 million. You can't rule as our government rules without dividing the ordinary working class people so that we don't get together and say, hey, I'm not talking violence. There's things like voting, things like peaceful protests, where if we got together and, forget about race, religion, creed, national origin, who sleeps with you, whether you're vegetarian or vegan or a meat eater. Forget all those things that divide us. We need to get together and just raise our voices. Now I have to moderate a comment. They don't like reference to a film. It's the title of the film, so I'm going to show it. Yeah, well, Jason, we aren't going to talk about maybe men participating in women's sports. I remember the 70s when I was sort of a women's liver, not really totally on board, but we were fighting for support for women's athletics in the college I was attending. And I still say to this day that women's sports would be just as popular and just as profitable as men's sports if they got all the advertising and promotion that men's sports get. I mean, what man wouldn't want to watch a bunch of women in short shorts and bikini tops playing volleyball? Give me a break. I guess that's sexist. I guess gay women would like to watch it too. But gay men would rather watch football with a bunch of big bruisers in tight pants. Is that sexist too? I don't know. I can't get it right. Oh, Randy Oliva. Hi, Randy. This is going to be one of my longest videos, if not the longest. 2 hours and 20 so far. We had to fight to get affirmative action to apply to women because women are not a minority. But in a sense, I've had jobs where I did the same work as the men, but I made less money and had a less prestigious job title. And on top of that, I did a better job than most of those men, whether it was a factory or an office. Tuesday morning coffee. Yes, Oswald is brewing up his second batch. Oh, not even a second cup, a second batch. The Matrix? A metaphor for patriarchy? Yeah, I don't want to live in a matriarchy. Especially if it's led by some of the women who are in power today. Uh, no. But I don't appreciate the patriarchy that restricts what I can do because they're protecting me. I'm a fragile woman. Hey, I was married long enough to realize that men are the weaker and more sensitive sex. I can't imagine a man going through labor and not wanting to kill himself because of the pain. On the other hand, kidneys are almost as bad, and you don't even get a baby when you're done passing stones. I don't know who the Wachowskis are, Oswald, but I guess they're sisters now. Um, I've forgotten the first name. The former Bruce Jenner is on my side. He doesn't want biological men in women's sports. It's unfair. Can you imagine if he, now as a she, even at his age or her age, participated in women's sports? She would win everything. And it wouldn't be fair. Oh, the Wachowski brothers directed The Matrix. Oh, I should have recognized that. Favorite X-Men? I don't know who your favorite X-Man is. Caitlyn Jenner. Thank you, Oswald. But my favorite X-Man is Wolverine. Now, I forgot a name again. Patrick played Picard on Star Trek. He's the big guy on the X-Men. Great actor. But from what I've heard from others, not a very good person. Patrick Stewart. But I like Wolverine. I like Hugh Jackman. Thank you, Wita. I think maybe the audio is lagging behind the chat room a little. He should have named himself Bunny instead of Caitlyn. Yeah, well, I like Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner, whatever he or she wants to be. That's fine for an informed adult. even when I was 18 and therefore legally an adult, except for alcohol. I wasn't allowed to buy alcohol, but I could buy cigarettes, and Mom could give me a glass of wine. I wasn't all that grown up, but I was still more grown up than Phil. Oswald says, I think the Irish secretly rule the world. Patriarchy, like a pun on patriarchy. For those who can't see the chat room, because I never have it replayed on the replay, the chat doesn't get there. Let's see. Even when a man has fully transitioned, he still has the bone density and muscle tone of a male. It doesn't go away. And there have been cases of males who just said, well, I'm really a woman. Maybe took a few hormones or maybe got the prescriptions and dumped them in the toilet just so they could win because they weren't that good in men's sports. And women's sports are popular because in the Winter Olympics, what's the most popular Olympic sport in the winter? Ice skating. And yeah, men ice skate too, but you always hear about the women. You hear more about the women than the men because they're popular. They just don't get the promotion. Women's sports don't get the promotion and advertising that men's sports do. And men's sports have become so violent. The old joke is, I went to see a fight and a hockey game broke out. Even in basketball, the players have been injuring each other. And it's just wrong. I do enjoy the race car, the car races. But they last so long, I end up not paying great attention. I pay more attention to horse races. Even the Kentucky Derby is only about 3 minutes. The Indy 500 goes on for hours. So I'll watch the beginning and then go away and come back for the ending. Oh, wow. Yeah. So these programs that are supposed to help the underprivileged and the poor and the minorities generally do more harm than good. I've watched it. I've known many people who are on welfare, mostly single mothers, and the only ones who are able to actually have a decent life, not luxurious, but decent, and maybe go to school or get into a career and better themselves to get off of welfare. The only ones who were able to do that were cheating. Because welfare didn't pay enough to cover all your bills. And if you tried to save money, for example, by living with your relatives, they'd cut your benefits. And you weren't allowed to, for example, have a roommate who was not on welfare. to help with the expenses. But you never had enough. You were always in the hole. And then you end up with these payday loans that put you even deeper in doo-doo. You're in debt now with a loan you can never pay off. Every day that goes by, the $10 you borrowed grows and grows until it's 100 or more. I don't think anyone has an advantage in NASCAR. You have to be a good driver, but you also have to have a hell of a good car. I got to watch drag racing in person once in Bakersfield. Got to meet Dan Garlitz and Sherry Muldowney and the Snake, Don Prudhomme. It was very interesting. I met some other people. I just can't remember all the names. Don Garlitz was known as Big Daddy. He was thrilled when I asked for his autograph. He had his own pen ready to go. Anyway, yeah, sports are interesting, but I'm more interested in educational stuff, especially if it's off the beaten path. I'm amazed at people who don't know the little tidbits you tend to come across in history, for example. I've talked to some very intelligent people who didn't have a clue. They knew the name Cromwell, but they didn't realize that Cromwell had King Charles I executed for treason. The English king, son of James Stuart, James I. And they didn't even know that Charles II existed. And Charles II, Cromwell had died of natural causes, but Charles II had the body of Cromwell exhumed and hanged for killing his father, Charles I. Those things are interesting. They stick in your mind. What do they teach in schools? Okay, the factories in the cities during the Industrial Revolution replaced cottage industry. And I'm all for promoting cottage industry where you make stuff at home by hand and so forth. But so many people left the farms for the city to work in the factories that it must have been a better life than what they had on the farm, or they wouldn't move to the city. For the first time, ordinary people had porcelain plates to eat off of instead of pewter or wood. They were no longer terribly expensive. Of course, they were cheap crap. That's my problem these days with everything being made of plastic. Yeah, it looks nice, but it's cheap crap. And you don't get upset if you have to throw it out. But, of course, there were serious problems with worker safety and consumer safety when it came to food processing. And it's just like the ancient days in Mesopotamia, where the historians tell you that the rise of large-scale agriculture made cities possible. I maintain that it's the reverse. The rise of cities made large-scale agriculture necessary. And what we have now is the destruction of the family farm in favor of large-scale factory farming. We don't need more food. There's enough food in this world to feed everyone twice, even if they're obese. The shortage is in money to buy food. We here in America, in the United States and Canada and Mexico, which is also a wealthy, oil-rich nation, we throw away enough food to feed the third world. We let it go bad, or we just aren't that hungry, or, yeah, I don't like this. I don't have to eat it. Toss it out. Of course, that's my attitude. I'm the mommy now, and I don't have to eat it if I don't want to. But there is enough food already. We don't need more food. And we especially don't need more McDonald's, KFC, what else? Sonic Burger, and all those Kraft Lunchables that give you a couple crackers and a slice of cheese and charge you $6 or $7 for it. These plastic foods are killing us. Oswald says schools these days teach gender-affirming health care. Well, yeah, I'm every time I go to a new doctor or hospital emergency room, I have to fill out a form. What gender are you? What gender were you assigned at birth? What are your preferred pronouns? I don't care. Just take care of my broken back, please. Yeah, McDonald's and KFC are not food, Oswald. And McDonald's especially. Everything they make is full of sugar. The hamburger buns are full of sugar. The so-called cheese, which is cheese food, not the same thing, is full of sugar. Their sauces are full of sugar. I've never tried reheating leftover fast food in a slow cooker, Oswald. I rarely eat fast food, and when I do, I just toss out whatever I don't eat. Sometimes I put it in the compost pile. Depending upon what it is. But I don't reheat fast food. Oh, fast food slow cooker. It's a pun, huh? And I took it seriously. Didn't see it. Yeah. Most recently, I got a cheeseburger at Baker's. It's a hamburger place, kind of dumpy looking, but They focus on organics and healthful food. And it was one of the best cheeseburgers I have ever had. It's like what In-N-Out used to be before they grew too big for their britches. Or back in the day, Foster's Freeze. I don't know if they exist anymore. They were an ice cream shop that also served hamburgers and, or if you were adventurous, a bowl of chili. Well, maybe the hamburger buns don't go bad at McDonald's, but one time when my son had braces on his teeth, I came home with the takeout from McDonald's because he loved their cheeseburgers. The buns were stale and he couldn't chew them, so I had to go back and demand fresh hamburger buns. Yeah, they do slowly petrify. They were so stale I didn't want to eat them that way. I don't eat McDonald's anymore. It's when they first started out, it wasn't that bad. I wish they would go back to putting chicken parts in their hamburger meat. There was something special about it, and it actually is more healthful than beef all by itself. You even have nutrients that you need. Anyway, the flavor isn't the same. Geez Louise. And there's a big stink about the McFlurry. They're very popular. People like the McFlurry. It's kind of like a shake. But the McDonald's franchises say the machines are always breaking down and they are not allowed to repair the machines themselves. So they have to wait till an official technician is available and they have to pay for the repair. Yeah, well, shoot, we're getting close to 3 hours now. Around here, by the way, we have access to produce from local farms. Just yesterday, I bought some oranges and avocados that were grown in Mentone, which is near Redlands. It's not. It's down in the valley, but it isn't at all far from these mountains. And we have an actual farm that you can visit and buy the produce right off the farm. It's kind of on the mountain, but I would call that the foothills. It's where the land is still flat enough to grow crops. They also have eggs, and you can buy chicks, baby chickens, to raise yourself. I would be allowed to have 2 or 3 hens in my yard if I built a strong enough coop so the critters wouldn't eat my chickens. Raccoons, coyotes, mountain lions, bobcats. Uh, but I'm not allowed to have a rooster. I think you have to have half an acre, something like that, to have a rooster. And when I looked up how much land that was, if I had this whole block, it wouldn't be enough land to have a rooster. Apparently, they wake people up in the morning, but it's okay for noisy neighbors to have a knockdown, drag-out fight, screaming cuss words, and then turn on the outdoor speakers. I think it might even be in a car, and play rap music and hip hop so loud it shakes your windows. I know it's a violation, but nothing ever comes of complaining. It, Jan has chickens, 20 or 30 roosters, and about the same chooks. Is that what you call hens? Oh, they sleep in trees. That's cool. The chickens we get here are not capable of flying for the most part. We had a rooster once as a pet before they got so weird. We were in Culver City, little town in Los Angeles County. He would run across the whole yard and soar up to the top of our wooden fence and sit there going, ah, 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 and then glide down because across the street there was a creek with minnows, and he loved to eat minnows. That was the most our chickens could ever fly. We had a broken rooster. Didn't know it to crow day or night. Well, our rooster would crow at night because the porch light came on after dark. Maybe that's the problem with your broken rooster, Howard. The street lights come on, the porch lights come on. Oh, must be dawn. Crow, crow, crow. Critters are amusing and entertaining, but they can be dangerous. Raccoons can carry rabies without having any symptoms themselves. Bears mostly want your trash, but don't get in their way. And we have at least one mountain lion that comes around every 2 months or thereabouts, looking for small pets to eat, I'm sure. Raccoons, squirrels, um, rats. Not like your roof rats in the city there. Kangaroo rats, they call them. Field rats. They have long hind legs, and they're very small. They're about the size of a mouse usually. We also have snakes, including rattlesnakes. I lost two cats to rattlesnakes. I'm not able to keep the cats in all the time. And back then I had 8 cats. All spayed and neutered, but I had 8 of them. There's no way to keep 8 cats in a house that's only 20 feet by 20 feet. You should have seen the claw marks on the inside of my wooden door. You'd think a tiger was trying to get out. And his name was Tiger. Oh well. I miss Tiger. He was the best. The coyote ate him. And that was because of a stupid neighbor who put out pans, like 6 pans of cat food every night for the raccoons. And she couldn't understand why neighborhood cats came around and coyotes came around. Well, what do you think, lady? It's cat food. Just because you say it's for the raccoons doesn't mean the cats got the message. Thank God I don't live near that woman anymore. But we are experiencing a stray cat boom now. And they have got to be people's pets. They meow, and stray cats don't generally meow if they were born wild. They only meow to their mothers. So when a cat meows, it's saying "mommy," and they just are so tame compared to what I've seen of the feral cat population. And some of them are obviously well cared for and just, hanging around. But this orange cat, this big orange cat who keeps coming here, he's been eating here for a few weeks, so he isn't as skinny. But he was skin and bones, and he's still ravenously hungry and incredibly friendly, so he was someone's pet. But I think the other cats that have been coming around, they're mostly in the vacant house next door. But the house on the other side, they probably live there. But those people have 2 or 3 little yappy dogs. And cats don't like dogs. And they didn't have these cats before. They must have adopted them recently. Or maybe a roommate moved in with cats. And the poor orange cat, I can't keep him. Tora hates him. Sweetie hates him. Or I should say, Good Girl hates him. She thinks that's her name. And I really can't afford to take on more pets right now. Same thing with my wanting a dog. One vet bill would ruin me, and I'm not sure I could afford to feed him if I had a dog. I sure can't afford a ravenously hungry, huge orange cat that just decided to move in. But what am I going to do? The pound is a death sentence. I can't do that to him. So if an owner doesn't turn up, I did post on Facebook with a photo of him with his face in the food dish. If I can't get someone to adopt him, maybe the local humane society can take him. I'm not sure that it's humane society, but there is a outfit up here. If they have room, they try to find foster parents for these pets. They might take him and try to get him a home. He's a lovely cat overall. Friendly, too friendly and affectionate for my taste. Really nice cat, and even though my cats hate him, he doesn't attack them. They hiss at him, but he is a food hog. So, we'll see. Yeah, Oswald's taking off. I'm about to take off myself. I'm kind of out of things to say, but it's a real pleasure having my wonderful chat room on a Tuesday morning. Let's see, I need some light. It got dark in here and I need the keyboard. There, here we go. Thank you all for listening and have a great day. It's been wonderful. Vi, Jan, and Howard, and Witta, and Oswald, and Jason, and everyone. See ya.